At 65, I no longer fall for miracle pills, but I do believe in a spoon of seeds. When I was 58, I hit a wall. I wasn't sick, not in the way doctors define it, but I wasn't well either. My sleep was broken. My joints ache every morning. I'd forget names mid-sentence, then laugh it off, but inside I worried. I tried everything my American patients were trying. Melatonin, magnesium gummies, cutting coffee after noon, weighted blankets. Even bought a $150 pillow that promised to align my nervous system. None of it helped. Each night felt like a battle to fall asleep. Each morning felt like waking from a fog I couldn't name. Then came Kyoto and Mrs. Tanaka. I had flown to Japan for a medical seminar, but jet lag and the quiet ache of aging had followed me. I found a small shrine one morning, hoping to sit in peace, maybe write in my notebook. That's when I saw her 87 years old, serene, feeding koi with the presence of someone who had lived well. She turned and said, "You're a doctor, right? But your eyes say you're tired." I smiled weakly. Long flight and a longer year. She offered no lecture. Just one line, 1 spoon of flaxseed in warm milk every night. That night, in my hotel room, I stirred ground flax into almond milk and drank it like a dare. I slept through the night. No dreams, no waking, just quiet, restorative sleep, the kind that makes you cry when you realize how long it's been. That spoon didn't just help me sleep. It reminded me of something I'd forgotten. As a Western-trained physician, healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it stirs gently from your kitchen. And yes, this works from Kyoto to Ohio. I've now shared it with patients from Chicago to Charleston, and I've seen the same quiet relief in their eyes. What's your sleep remedy? Let me know below. You might inspire someone else reading this right now. In today's longevity tale, I'll share the 10 healing nuts and seeds I now recommend to nearly all my older patients, not as snacks, but as daily medicine. Simple, affordable, and surprisingly powerful. If you've ever stood in the supplement aisle at CVS, wondering what might help your memory, your sleep, your heart, I've been there, and I believe there's a better way. If your mind feels foggy and your heart feels tired, this is where we begin. For many older adults from Ohio to California, those quiet slips in memory or breath are not aging's punishment, but its invitation to listen. That's why we start with 3 gentle protectors: walnuts, macadamias, and Brazil nuts. Walnuts, shaped like the brain, also nourish it. They're rich in ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that converts to DHA, the very fat that supports memory and focus. A 2015 study from UCLA, published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, found that seniors who ate just 1 ounce of walnuts daily, about 7 to 9 halves, performed significantly better on cognitive tests than those who didn't. One of my patients, George, a retired history teacher, told me he had trouble following his favorite documentaries. I suggested he swap pretzels for soaked walnuts. 3 weeks later, he smiled and said, "I finished an episode and remembered every word. Soak them overnight for easier digestion." Buy raw walnut halves in bulk at Costco or Aldi. Store them in the freezer and avoid rancid nuts with bitter smells they're no longer nourishing. While walnuts sharpen the mind, macadamias steady the heart. These creamy nuts are rich in monounsaturated fats, the same kind found in olive oil. A 2018 study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that daily macadamia intake helped reduce LDL cholesterol and improve lipid balance in older adults. Just 6 dry roasted macadamias a day can help. I had a 70-year-old mechanic who added them to his routine. Weeks later, he said, "Stairs don't scare me anymore. Choose unsalted, dry-roasted macadamias, and to stretch your budget, combine a few with pumpkin seeds." And while macadamias support the heart, Brazil nuts speak to precision. Just one Brazil nut provides your full daily selenium needs a trace mineral that supports thyroid health, immune function, and brain clarity. A 2013 study from New Zealand found that adults with mild memory issues improved verbal recall after 6 months of eating one Brazil nut per day. But more is not better. I once treated a patient who ate 5 a day, thinking she was being proactive. She soon experienced brittle nails, nausea, and extreme fatigue, classic signs of selenium toxicity. We adjusted her to one nut each morning, and her body gradually found its rhythm again. Keep Brazil nuts refrigerated, eat them whole, and never blend them into trail mix. If you have a thyroid condition or take medication, consult your doctor first. And if you're allergic to any tree nuts, speak with your physician before adding new ones to your diet. Healing foods are powerful, but only when they match your body's story. So now I ask you, do you eat any of these? For memory, for heart health, or just because they taste good? Let me know in the comments. You never know who might read your note and feel a little less alone. Once the gut finds its rhythm and sleep returns to softness, many of my patients begin to ask about something deeper, not just how to feel better, but how to stay mentally sharp, emotionally calm, and physically flexible as the years go on. That's when I introduce what I call the Peace Trio: hazelnuts, black sesame seeds, and pistachios. If the happy belly seeds support your body's rhythm, these three support its grace. Hazelnuts, though humble, are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects neurons and may slow cognitive decline. A 2015 study published in Nutrients found that older adults with higher vitamin E intake had significantly better memory scores and mental flexibility. Just 10 to 15 hazelnuts a day, about a small palmful, can make a difference. I often recommend them mid-morning, paired with tea or a piece of fruit. Miss Evelyn, 75, a retired elementary teacher from Indiana, once told me, "I used to forget why I walked into the kitchen. Now I forget less and stress less when I do." Choose raw or dry roasted hazelnuts, unsalted, and store them in the fridge to protect their delicate oils. If the mind needs sharpening, the joints ask for softening, and black sesame is one of the gentlest ways I know to nourish them. Rich in calcium, copper, and antioxidants, these tiny seeds have been used for centuries in Asian and Mediterranean traditions to support bone strength and hair vitality. A 2019 Korean study, Nutrition Research and Practice, showed that black sesame supplementation improved bone density markers in postmenopausal women. I once met an 88-year-old almond grower in Central California who took a spoon of black sesame paste with honey every night. Whether that's science or spirit, I'll take it. If you can't find paste, just grind the seeds and mix with raw honey in a 1-to-1 ratio. Start with a teaspoon before bed, keep it cool, and if the taste is too strong, mix it into yogurt or warm almond milk. Lastly, pistachios bring the breath. These green gems are rich in lutein, magnesium, and compounds that improve blood flow to the brain and eyes. What I love most is how they ask you to slow down. You open each one, pause, and breathe. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that pistachios improved reaction time and visual memory in older adults over 12 weeks. One of my patients, Mrs. Thompson, 81, a retired piano teacher in Pennsylvania, eats 10 pistachios every afternoon by the window. "They calm me," she said. "It's like a slow exhale I didn't know I needed." Choose unsalted, in-shell pistachios. They encourage mindful pacing and store them in a glass jar away from heat and humidity. Avoid the flavored versions, which often cancel out their quiet medicine. So, if your memory feels threadbare, your knees creaky, or your day's a little too fast, this trio might be your gentle anchor. Let me know which one you've tried or if you have your own. One reader's story might just become someone else's turning point. And of course, if you're allergic to any nuts or seeds, or taking medications that might interact, consult your doctor before beginning a new routine. Nuts and seeds are powerful, but only when eaten the right way. After introducing my patients to the healing handfuls, I always remind them, these are not snacks from a vending machine. They are medicines hidden in nature's shells, and like any good medicine, they require the right dose, the right preparation, and the right rhythm. First, preparation. Many nuts are hard on the stomach when eaten raw, especially for those over 60. Soaking helps. Walnuts, almonds, and hazelnuts can be soaked overnight in cool water, just enough to cover and stored in the fridge. In the morning, rinse and dry before eating. Soaked nuts are easier to digest and allow your body to absorb more nutrients. A 2017 Journal of Food Science study confirmed that soaking improves bioavailability of minerals in several common nuts. For those with sensitive digestion, roasting lightly at low temperature also helps, just don't overcook or add salt. Seeds, especially flax and sesame, should be ground before use. Whole flax will pass right through you untouched, and sesame's calcium hides behind its shell. Use a small coffee grinder and store the powder in an airtight jar in the fridge for up to a week. Chia should always be soaked for at least 30 minutes, preferably overnight to avoid bloating. And Brazil nuts and soak? Don't blend. Just one, raw and whole, is enough. Always smell your nuts before eating. Bitterness or rancid notes mean the oils have gone bad. Store in the fridge or freezer if you buy in bulk, especially during warm months. Once prepared, timing brings these nuts to life. When you eat them matters more than most people think. I often guide patients to follow a simple 3-part flow, one ritual for morning clarity, one for midday balance, and one for evening calm. I call them the morning grace bowl, the midday peace plate, and the evening gentle milk. In the morning, take 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed and 1 of chia soaked overnight in almond milk. Then stir into warm oats or yogurt. Add 7 soaked walnuts or a few crushed hazelnuts. This combination feeds your gut, fuels your brain, and starts your day gently. At midday, your body craves lightness and focus. A simple salad of greens, shredded carrot, cucumber, and a handful of toasted pumpkin seeds and pistachios with lemon and olive oil is more than enough. Each bite is a slow release of minerals, oils, and steadiness. And when evening arrives, keep it quiet. A cup of warm almond milk stirred with half a teaspoon of black sesame paste or soaked chia will signal to your body that the day is done. Many of my patients tell me this is the first time they've ever truly prepared for sleep, not just collapsed into it. Don't rush to combine 5 or 6 nuts at once. Your digestion needs clarity, not chaos. Pick 2 or 3 that speak to you most and rotate gently throughout the week. If affordability is a concern, remember healing doesn't require variety, it requires consistency. A bag of flaxseed, a small jar of sesame, and bulk walnuts from Aldi can carry you farther than a drawer full of supplements. And, as always, listen. Your body is not a machine. It's a memory, a rhythm, a relationship. When something feels off, change slowly. If something feels good, stay with it. If you're allergic to nuts or seeds or taking medications that interact with high-fiber or selenium-rich foods, please consult your doctor before starting a new routine. And tell me, what's your favorite nut or seed ritual? A walnut with morning tea? A chia cup before sleep? Share below. Your habit might inspire someone else's healing. After sharing these stories and seeds, I often get the same gentle questions, sometimes whispered across a table, sometimes scribbled at the bottom of a clinic form. So let me answer a few here, as if we were having tea together. Doctor, I have high cholesterol and arthritis. Should I really eat nuts? Absolutely. A 2019 American Heart Association study showed that regular intake of nuts like walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and macadamias can lower LDL, bad, cholesterol, and raise HDL, good. These same nuts, especially walnuts, flaxseed, and pistachios, are rich in omega-3s, magnesium, and antioxidants that help ease joint pain and reduce inflammation. The key is moderation and preparation. 1 ounce a day, unsalted, raw, or lightly roasted. Others ask, but I'm overweight, aren't nuts too fatty? It's a common concern. But the healthy fats in nuts are not your enemy. They support blood sugar balance, keep you full longer, and nourish your cells in ways low-fat snacks never will. A small palmful of nuts can satisfy. A bag of diet crackers often leaves you hungry and regretful. Then there's the quiet question. Is it too late for me to start? Never. Whether you're 60, 70, or 90, your gut still listens. Your brain still responds. Healing doesn't ask for youth, it asks for care. Of course, if you're allergic to nuts or seeds or on medications like thyroid treatment, please consult your doctor first. And if you're on a tight income, focus on a few staples: flaxseed, chia, walnuts, Aldi, Costco, and even food banks often carry them. Bring a jar of ground flax to your church potluck. Share a bowl of chia pudding with your walking group. Healing grows stronger when shared. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your nut or seed ritual? A spoon of sesame before bed? Almonds with your afternoon tea? Leave me a chestnut in the comments or a story. You never know whose day your memory might brighten. And if this tale stirred something gentle in you, don't just scroll away. Subscribe not just to this channel, but to mornings that begin with clarity and nights that end in calm. Tomorrow, try one ritual, just one. Let it be your whisper to the years ahead. Because every nut you choose is a quiet promise to the you you're still becoming.